Hey, I'm calling this episode Bootstraps and Shoestrings. So stay tuned. You know, in reflection from my last message, which is all about some of the initial first decisions I've made when starting something new, which is hiring new people, growing your team from day one so they can level up and you can level up and push your vision and your barrow further. Been plenty of times in my life where I haven't been able to hire someone and I've basically had to pull myself up by my own bootstraps, work on a shoestring budget, and just get stuff done in a DIY, do-it-yourself mode. And that's totally okay. If you're still at that position today, like you don't have like massive capital or permissions to go hiring other people and outsourcing from day one, or, well, you got to do it yourself anyway. Yeah, the visions where I've been able to get them over the line and get people hired straight away, that they all began, you know, solitaire with me, so to speak. I was pulling off visions for years before things came into reality. So look, it started with me in the first place, even if you were in a position where you could hire straight away. But let me focus down on today. If you need to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, work on a shoestring budget, that's totally fine, totally okay. Been there heaps of times, DIYing, do it yourself, yeah? Like I mentioned a couple of episodes ago when I was weeding pathways, I'm not going to outsource that. I can do that. I think it's probably part of my German upbringing where you're like, nein, ich kann das machen. Ich kann das selber machen. I can do it myself. I'm not going to pay for that. I'm quite happy to pay for stuff that's way over my head, but yeah. Sometimes sometimes with, like, especially in startup mode, you got to do it yourself. Yeah, you don't have that capital, and I get that. We've done, what is it now? Three big full home renovations in 10 years. Still married. Oh boy. 3 big renos. Yeah. A lot of that was DIY. It was like, you know, asking questions from the wonderful staff at your local Bunnings, clicking on YouTube, how do I do this? And get it done. Yeah. Obviously, I've grown up around tools with my dad being a brickie, and I've been tinkering away with timber and stone for forever. So know how to handle a tool. Easy, tiger. But yeah, with a lot of my renovations, you know, we haven't had the budget to outsource for every single little thing and just manage the project. We've done it on shoestring budgets, and we've made our you know, gains for the next project. And part of it's always, you know, what does the Bible say? Bread to eat, seed to sow. That's for another video. But man, shoestring budgets, I know what that's all about. You know, my first renovation was in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne, and man, this thing was so ugly. Oh my goodness, this thing was so ugly. I didn't tell my parents or my in-laws, outlaws. Didn't tell them. We'd get it on a video call, and we'd just point the camera up at the trees. My own parents, they were living in the same city as us, so I didn't take them to see it. Wouldn't show them. It was the classic, you know, renovate or detonate. This one just said detonate, start again, dream block of land for you to fulfill your dreams. No. We looked and we thought, you know what, coat of paint, plus a lot of structural work. But anyway, that's for another video. We had a shoestring budget, yeah, young married couple, baby on the way, thought, hey, let's get the ugly duckling and see what we can make of it. Yeah, love a good reno. Australians are mad for renos. My goodness. And shoestring budget, what we did was we were those people that took our cordless tools, and I'm saying we, me and me pregnant missus, we'd go off every weekend to some of the most beautiful homes in Melbourne, Victoria, that were being demolished, and we did the old magpie scavenger. Yeah, bring your cordless tools, your chainsaws, your hacksaws, your crowbars, jimmy bars, reciprocating saws, and we'd pull apart reno products, skirting boards, you name it, we ripped it off, and we took that home a couple of days before these mansions were getting demolished. You know, their trash was our treasure, and on a shoestring, next to nothing, we pulled off at least the first part of the reno on our first property to make it visibly appealing enough for our parents to come see. Finally, we let them see it. Yeah, we turned a derelict into the derelicious, mate. Yeah, on a shoestring. My goodness, I don't know how my shoestrings have survived, but they keep surviving. You know when your shoelace breaks when you're a kid, and you just tie a knot, try and loop it back through the hole. Man, I got so many knots in shoelaces. But you do what you got to do, yeah. You got to start somewhere. And in the case of our renovations history as a couple, shoestrings galore, man. It's amazing how long the shoestring can stretch too, eh? So, shoestrings, bootstraps. Yeah, pull yourself up. Might sound cliched, but a lot of things in life, no one else is going to do it for you. You do it for yourself, man. Have a bit of self-pride, self-esteem, self-pride, worth, personal worth. You're valuable, mate. You are worth it. You are worth giving yourself a red hot go. So I'm encouraging you today. Yeah, pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. If all you got is what you got, start from where you are. That's the most logical place to start from. You start from where you are. Okay. It was me, renovation journey, starting by going to mansions that were getting demolished and scavenging, magpieing, stuff that would have gone into landfill. Yeah, 3 days later, still in my original reno property in the eastern suburbs in Melbourne. Still there, looking proud. And so from that first reno, we rebought grand old dame up in the hills of Melbourne. Yeah, Melbourne has a few hills. We bought in them, and bought a house, second house. Not a second house like as an accumulation, just going from one house to the next. Another grand old dame, another thing that was so ugly, so derelict. Needed a crazy man like me and my missus. This time I think we had our second kid already, and got them on the tools nice and early too. Oh boy, yeah. Renovated our second property. We had a kitty left over. Yeah, so our second reno was the shoestring was a bit longer. The bootstraps were a bit more had a bit more coin in them, and we were able to outsource a bit more. Second house, we got a team to do all the properly insured, certified plumbing, carpentry, structural work, re-stumping, all that. That was all properly done. We'd factored that in. Still ended up being a shoestring, but yeah, kind of the size of the project can still make your shoestring run a bit short, yeah, especially when there's, you know, problems come up. Obviously every reno's not straightforward. There's always little jack in the boxes here or there, but it's always been a shoestring for us. I think because we tend to respond to psycho projects. We tend to respond to projects that are way outside of our own capability and not competency. That's just capability and current financial pool of resources. So it always stretches us, and not that we're desperate, but we're definitely on edge and just gunning to extract the most we can out of every deal, every purchase, every opportunity to get help or assistance, find a good deal, you know. We don't really like blowing money on massively expensive things when we know if we just waited a bit longer, we could get it for, you know, 50, 60, 80% reduction prices. So part of that is when you're in a big project, yeah, when you're in a big project and you've got a shoestring budget and you know the project will probably take 9 to 12 months, well, you set out the vision for everything, and you know these are the 250 things we're going to need by the end of the project, okay? And so once you write them all out, things you need for a reno, for instance, you might be needing something else for another project, but I'm just using renovation as the method to the video today, because renos is something we've done 3 of and been very successful in, so we'll stick with that. Yeah, when you've got a vision for what you want your end product to be, the house, the styling, the everything, materials you need, you write it all out, and then, you know, you do your once every 2 days, sometimes it's every day, you're checking Facebook Marketplace, you're checking your local, every time you go into Bunnings or a hardware store, the throw out, the specials, yeah, you're checking your marketplaces where you can pick stuff up, really discounted. And when you know, oh, there's something, boom, you strike and you go, you travel, you get it at that 50 to 80% reduction price. And you find that if you've written out, if you've got the vision clear and you write it down, yeah, get the vision, write it down, make it clear, so when things come up, you can run with it and you can go with it and get things for a massive discount, and your budget goes so much further. Your shoestring can stretch like Mr. Elastic, mate. Dude. But you got to write it down, yeah. If you're really haphazard, if your vision's not clear, if you're not, like, you know, sure, you're always umming and ahhing and toing and froing, and you haven't really clarified what you need or what you want, mate, deals will come and deals will go, and you'll miss out on them because you won't know. You'll be double-minded, yeah. You won't. Don't expect you'll get anything done with your shoestring if you haven't written it down first. So there's a point for you. Write it down, make it clear. You got a big project, write everything down, so at least if great opportunities come your way, you can strike on them real quick. Okay? Shoestrings, man. Shoestrings and bootstraps. So then we move to our third reno, and shoestring was a bit bigger, but problems keep coming up. It's the same old story, especially with renovations, yeah? Shout out all you Reno kings out there, your Reno queens. Mate, you know what it's like doing a reno. Things always come up that are unexpected. Project times blow out, project expenses blow out. Okay? So working that shoestring, very, very important. And I know what that's like. And I feel ya. And and there's a time where you need to just work, particularly if it's your own coin. Yeah, you're not in especially if you're self-employed or you're a business owner. Okay, you're in those quadrants and it's your money on the line. Every dollar counts, mate. Sometimes you can be sneaky, yeah, when you're an employee and you're working for a big company or big organisation. Sometimes you can be sneaky. You don't really give a stuff if you're sharpening the pencils too much and smashing up the tools and cheating on a bit of product here or there while you're at the workplace. It's not yours in the end. Yeah, you don't have that sense of ownership. A bit of a dodgy employee. Got any of those? Don't write their name in the comment, please. Let's just focus on you. And sometimes when you're an employee and it's someone else's money, you don't care as much. But when it's your money, yeah, especially if you're self-employed, like I said, or you're a business owner, you're an investor, man, then every dollar counts. So, hey, I want to encourage you today. If you are in a position where you are pulling yourself up by your own bootstraps, working on a shoestring budget, been there many times. I still think what I've got is only a shoestring, but I think it's because I keep keep saying yes to bigger and bigger projects. What's going on here? But it pushes me. It drives me. It's I think probably just part of my German nature to achieve and go to great heights. I hope you got value out of this video today. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, share it, and maybe check out one of these other videos here. All right, people, check one of these videos out, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.